Coogee.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I rise in support of the Protection of Environment Operations Amendment Illegal Waste Disposal Bill 2013. I'm pleased to be part of a government that's actually taking measures to protect our environment and hold people accountable who commit offences to dealing with waste. This amendment is designed to break the business model of rogue waste operators and remove the unfair financial advantage that they have by illegally dumping waste. In addition, the bill seeks to remove the negative impact that these rogue operators are having on the financial viability of legitimate operators in the waste industry. I'm lucky to represent a very aesthetically beautiful electorate, the electorate of Coogee. It's home to a range of beaches, including Coogee, Tamarama, Bronte and Gordons Bay, which are all adjacent to parks and open spaces. We have many other parks and open spaces in the electorate, such as Queen's Park, and my constituents are frequent users of Centennial Park. Now, thankfully, illegal dumping of waste has not been a significant problem in Coogee for a number of years. However, the EPA has identified an increase in the practice of illegal stockpiling of waste and discovered significant rorting being undertaken by these rogue waste operators, which can erode local habitats and detract from the appeal of our local communities. This can lead to all sorts of further problems, like the driving down of real estate prices and reduced amenity for visitors affected by illegal dumping. This bill tightens the penalties for those engaged in illegal waste dumping or being complicit with it in some form, as well as introduces a new common sense offence related to strict liability of waste dumping. The new laws make provisions to better safeguard my electorate's local environment, all the local environments across this state, starting with the doubling of the maximum fine for supplying false or misleading information about waste from $250,000 to $500,000 for a corporation and $120,000 to $240,000 for an individual. From here onwards, corporations who lie or knowingly mislead authorities investigating illegal dumping will have to be prepared to surrender $500,000 in fines. The bill also authorises the EPA to seize any vehicle or vessel which it believes could have been used to facilitate illegal dumping and polluting. The bill changes wording. The bill changes the wording of land as a waste facility to any place to ensure that all areas which could potentially be used as a waste facility, including bodies of water, are covered under the new law. Previously, if a polluter wanted to dump illegal waste, say on the seashore at Coogee Beach, they might have been able to actually get away with it. But I'd like to raise some of the concerns which was raised by the member for Heffron and that were raised with me by Waverley Council. No doubt other councils, I hear that's SS Rock, are concerned about the potential cost implications of this bill resulting from the removal of Section 88 levy exemption for waste disposal to landfill sites. This bill is not intended to financially disadvantage legitimate waste operators, but rather to remove the financial advantage gained by illegitimate operators. The intention of these amendments is that there will be no net increase in the amount of waste levy paid. Under these changes, councils operators of scheduled waste facilities will pay the levy which can be rebated for reusable waste, including green organics and recyclables, and moved off-site for lawful reuse or further processing. As per current arrangements, Waverley Council will continue to pay a levy on waste that is disposed to landfill. Considering that the cost of the levy on disposal of residuals should already be factored into Council's contracts, there should be no contractual changes which result in an increase of the levy liability held by councils. Although the proposed changes mean that the waste received at a recycling or storage facility would be liable to pay the levy, the actual payment is not triggered until the waste is sent off-site for disposal. Minister Parker has advised me that although there will be no net increase in levy liability, councils may be required to install a weighbridge at their waste facilities. Should this be required, the New South Wales Government has committed to making funding available of up to 50% or $50,000 to local government and the industry for the installation of new weighbridges. We need to effectively combat illegal dumping because it degrades and destroys the most beautiful parts of our communities, which are our outdoor spaces and facilities. Not only do we have a responsibility to protect our local areas, but we have a responsibility to continually ensure that the measures are in place to deter anyone who wishes to pollute. These new laws will better protect Coogie's local environment from illegal waste operators who disregard their communities and the law. I understand that the EPA has been instructed by the Minister to ensure that the stakeholders have the opportunity to provide their input into the proposed amendments before they become law. The EPA is scheduled to commence consultation with councils and industry later this year, pending the passage of this bill, so that the new frameworks can be developed with the active participation of local councils. This bill makes it much harder for rogue operators to get away with the illegal dumping and seeks to strike the right balance between protecting the environment, maintaining the integrity of the waste levy framework and ensuring the long-term viability of the waste industry in New South Wales. Businesses and individuals who produce significant amounts of waste should be prepared to dispose of it in compliance with the law. This means contacting your local council or an authorised waste disposal agent to arrange rubbish collection or clean-up service. Otherwise, they will face new and appropriately stricter penalties. And I commend the bill to that.
The question is, this bill be now read a second time. I call the member for Bankstown.